Hello. The two of you worked on animation through a lot of actually different mediums, like the early mainframe shows, which were very groundbreaking in terms of the animation. Then on Energon and Armada, which was an adaptation of a Japanese series, and obviously all the cartoons in between. Did you see animation medium differences in how things were recorded or how the direction was done between those different sorts of projects, and how did you sort of see that era progress?
Do you mean how did the animation progress, or the voice recording during?
The latter. How did it impact your work and your side of the industry?
Well, the changeover from traditional animation to CGI was no different in that. You still did prelay for both.
And then sort of the rise of anime, I imagine, had a bit of a difference.
Anime, it's because it's dubbing, you have to go in and, do your lines solo. And you don't really, they don't play you the line, they don't have the time to play you the line before or the line after, so you can, really focus in. You don't table read, you don't rehearse, you just do the line. So, and that's why the performances kind of get frowned on in some series.
No names mentioned.
Dragon Ball Z was different just because everyone was just so into it, and we had more people in the studio, like from Funimation and that would really help you out, and you kind of had a feel for what was before and after. It's possible to record anime ensemble, but no one's figured it out yet. It's because when they used to do dubbing, they did a lot of it in Quebec. They used a system called the Rhythmo Band. You ever done any?
No, I don't
Rhythmo
think so.
Band? And in Rhythmo Band, you would see the screen, and the dialogue would start coming across the screen, and there'd be a line. And then your words were there, but someone would painstakingly go through your lines and stretch them out and make every mouth movement fit. So if the word was around the world, well, the around would be stretched out and world would be thin. So someone would painstakingly go through and write out all your lines perfectly like that. It's way easier. So you could do scenes.
Yeah.
Because you would see all your lines and the other actors' lines, and there'd be like 4 lines rotating across the screen, and your character would be in red, my character would be in green, and we'd be playing off each other. And you could digitally create that and have anime record in real time, like prelay, but nobody's done it.
Wow. Yeah, because now otherwise it's just the 3 beeps.
Yep.
And then you just
Beep, 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 do your line. Okay, that was perfect. Next.
And Sharon, more you had mentioned that how you got into voice acting and how you would move to it from sort of traditional whole body acting, I guess. Yeah. Did you find, even with your preparation, when the first time you got into the studio and the mic was hot, that it was different from what you expected, or that you had been well prepared?
Utterly terrified. I was so scared, and I was with all these talented people, Kathleen Barr and Ian Corlett and Scott and Gary and Stevie Valent, and I felt way out of my element. The only I made a bad joke at a convention once that, when I glossed over it earlier when Gary coached me, it was like I'd sit in a basement with Gary, recording on VHS tapes. No, you don't quite have it. No, you don't quite have it, just to audition. I had bad imposter syndrome. I'm like, I am so out of my element. I was so insecure, but then it's just, they're so fun and so welcoming, and it was a learning curve for sure, but it worked with what I gave them was what they wanted, which was why I got the part. So you can only be insecure about it for so long. And then I tried to branch out, more, and not just, because I'll get, as opposed to somebody who can do a lot of characters, I can do different characters, and I've played little boys and, old women But I tend to get cast a lot for my voice, so I don't have as...
But it's funny, the names you mentioned, they're just voice actors. That's all they do. Don't, like, not Gary, but like Kathleen
Yes.
and Ian. You don't see Ian and,
No,
you don't see
that's true.
and so they just absolutely specialized in just being
Specialized.
great at voice acting.
Yeah, I just feel like I've been very, very, very lucky, and like I said, I still have a bit of imposter syndrome. It's like I get to play with these people, and I get to, read these lines that these minds and these series that they've created. I get to be a small part of that. I feel very lucky.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks.